This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by NEPSIS Advisor Services. NEPSIS Advisor Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
Welcome to Journeys with Joni. My name is Joni Rametta, and I am joined today by my co-host, Mark Clark. Join us as we travel on this journey together. Mark, we've been on the
air.
Back to
the
theme.
I was going to say it's hump day.
It is hump day.
Because it's back to, hump back to. Now I've got you all messed up, don't I?
Yeah, you have. Yeah,
Focus.
As soon as you do that hump day thing, you know what pops in my head is that camel in that commercial.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. They really did a good job with that because that's...
Well, a camel would be very appropriate for today's topic, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, actually it is. In a way.
What are we talking about today?
It's a real stretch. Well, it's probably a little bit of a stretch.
Well, I do have a far-reaching imagination.
Yes, you do.
I've been told.
Well, we're on the theme this month of Back To. So this is the end of our Back To theme for August.
People are saying, thank God.
Yeah, probably. Or maybe their anticipation of what the theme is next month.
Hey.
Never thought about that, did you?
No, I didn't.
So Back to Work was last week. The week before was Back to School. And so today is Back to the Holidays.
The holidays?
The holidays. Do you know that I actually sat there and counted the weeks? There's like 16 weeks until Christmas.
You just ruined everybody's day, you know.
No, I
16
didn't.
weeks to Christmas. I'm going, holy moly.
No, everybody's thinking about when they're going to go put their Christmas decorations up. When's it going to get cold here in Florida?
I already put mine up. I put mine up already.
You did not.
No, I didn't. But it is back to, that's where the camel and Christmas.
I got that.
But Christmas isn't the only holiday we're talking about today for getting back to, right?
No, I mean, but Christmas is the major holiday that I was sort of talking about. And if we're talking about planning and spending, it's probably one of the most expensive holidays.
Well, it is, especially after, you've gone through the other holidays that lead up to it. Mm-hmm. They're there. And, it's the funny thing, and maybe you've looked, I didn't, I'm not going to ask you a question and put you on the spot, but, those years where there's only X amount of short weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you go, oh my gosh, somebody gypped us and we're out of time, and how'd this happen? So, and
I did not look that up.
You didn't look, so no. I won't ask you how many, but I think I looked, and it's back to a normal. It's not a shortened period of time this year. Not that I knew it was 16 weeks before Christmas, but the holidays tend to be the time of year where we throw everything to the wind. So we were talking about back to work, and we're getting our head back together, back to planning, and everything goes to the wind because we want to take care of those that we love, and we just go probably spend too much money. We maybe go to too many holiday parties and spend too much on food. There's all these things that go into the back to the holidays, if you will. And I think it's one of those things, if you start planning for, having a purpose for what you're going to do. Oh, imagine that. Making a holiday spending decision will have a positive effect on you, because in January you won't be
dreading the mail. Yeah,
dreading the mail. What's the cost of charging? And I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but it is back to the holidays. A lot to think about.
It is. And, I found that, I'm a real proponent of writing things down. We've talked about that a lot on this show about, writing things down, writing down your plan, writing down your goals. One, it helps you know where you think you want to go. Write them in pencil so you can erase them and change them. But, write them down and then, share it with somebody to hold you accountable for it. Right. And then review it occasionally to make sure that you're on track. Because, as I said in the past, when I've done that, several times I've written things down and I've actually, had it on a timeline and actually accelerated it. And I did some of that stuff faster. Because sometimes the winds just blow the right way.
Absolutely.
Sometimes an opportunity comes up that you didn't know about. And if you hadn't written it down, what you wanted to do, that opportunity that came that could have helped you with that. I mean, the fact that somebody mentions maybe, a job opportunity someplace and you've never thought about it, you wouldn't have paid attention to it, except that you have a goal that you wanted to do some certain thing that sort of helps meet that goal.
Right.
Then it goes by you. So you have to write it down. And one of the things that I found is that with the holidays, first of all, you write down everybody that you want to buy gifts for.
And everybody you don't. I'm just kidding.
No. Which list am I on?
I can't tell you.
Yeah, okay. We'll review this later.
Ask my wife.
So write down who you're going to buy the gifts for, and then write down what gifts you want to buy them. Keep track of when you buy them, because I'll tell you what happens. You say you're going to buy something for somebody, and then you buy it and you put it away and you forget that you bought it, and then you go out and buy something else. And before you know it, the person you're going to buy 1 or 2 gifts for has now 5 or 6 gifts. Right. Because you bought them, so now you're going to give them.
Yeah, you sure are. And it's that desire we have to really, it's a time of year. I love the holidays.
It's generosity. Everybody wants to be generous.
It really is. And my son-in-law's birthday is Christmas Eve. So I will tell you, that is absolutely, not because it's his birthday. I hope he's not listening to this or I'm toast. But that is probably one of my favorite nights of the year. It's just that moment in time where you can pause and just go, why are we doing all this? Why are we gone back to work? Why do we go back to school? And it's those times that we have family that's surrounding us. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes in the holiday season, we find ourselves in one of 2 places. Either A, next year I'm not going to do this crazy rat race stuff. I'm going to have my I'm going to plan. My plans more organized before I get here so I can enjoy the holiday time.
Right.
Or 2, it's I wish I would have planned so that I could.
Right.
And, that's why we're having this show today. Here we are at the end of August, and we're saying, we're in an environment where we have an opportunity to help people make an impact. And these are the impacts we as planners, financial planners, investment people, we love having an opportunity to make an impact. And the holidays are the areas where I believe that as you go sow and invest into your family, you have the segment of time. This is probably one of my most favorite opportunities to make an impact in people and help them impact their family in ways that they maybe have wanted to in the past and haven't been able to. Mm-hmm. That's why I love this time of year.
You're talking about the Christmas time of year, not like August time of year, right?
No, not August. It's hot, You're looking at your fantasy football team and going, man, I hope I win some so I can spend this on Christmas presents. Oh, anyway, that's managing by crisis again. I didn't really say that. But no, it's taking control of it and thinking about the holidays, because they really start, and I know we're up against the break here when we'll talk about some interesting things that we can bring to the table, but they really start happening toward the holiday of Halloween, and then whether you call that a holiday or not, but then Thanksgiving, and it just kind of goes throughout that season. And if you're prepared, what an opportunity you have to make an impact through those times, through this time of year, and it's coming up. So let's take advantage and make some good decisions.
It's fast approaching, and what it also allows you to do is not have a really bad January.
Right.
Because there's nothing worse than having a great holiday and then hitting January and getting all those bills in the mail that says you did too much in December and now you have to literally pay for it.
Absolutely.
Journeys with Joni, JONI.com, is where you can find information about both Mark and I. You can listen to previous shows. You can reach us at 941-361-1484. And you can visit our offices at 6230 University Parkway, Suite 305. Journeys with Joni. We'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with NEPSIS Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. Just before the break, Mark and I were talking about back to the holidays and the fact that Christmas is 16 weeks away. 16.
That's amazing.
I love Christmas too, but you know what I'm really looking forward to as well?
New Year's.
The cooler weather.
Yeah, it'll be here in January.
Maybe. Nothing worse than getting a sweater on Christmas when you're young and then not being able to wear it because it's 90 degrees outside.
Yeah, I know the NEPSIS home office is in Minneapolis, and we've laughed about this before.
They always have a white Christmas.
They get a white Christmas. They get to go sled riding, and they're laughing at us till about the first week of January, and then they're going, "Okay, Uncle, we've had enough. We're coming down there to Florida."
That's right.
Hang out in the Sarasota office. So. Back to the holidays. And, this sort of ties into last week about back to work. It ties into
the whole month of going back to your planning, going back to where are you, what are your benefits, what are you doing now with your finances that can either help you today or help you retire and even help you at Christmas time. Because if you start to look at your planning and your spending, there's probably some money in there that we're spending places or we're not allocating it to the right place that would, with a little tweak here and a little tweak there, a conversation with an advisor or a trusted advisor that we like to have with our clients. What is your goal? What do you want to do? What are you looking at? And then finding the best place to find that money. Right. But if you don't sit down with somebody and talk about it, you may not find it.
You have, I heard somebody one time tell me, if you look at the back of a dollar bill, there's always an eagle on the dollar bill. I don't care what, $1, $20. There's always an eagle because people have told me that money is like a bird. It has wings. It'll fly right away if you don't control it. So if you think about that, what are the opportunities you have to plug the holes in your financial bucket where money is going places you don't intend it to go? So let me give you a thought. Here's something to think about. Because as I think about Thanksgiving, and I love Thanksgiving dinner. Yes, I love to eat. I mean, who doesn't? Come on. And I cook 2 or 3 turkeys and, smoke one, deep fry one. We're in the South. You got to do it right. But, there's a cost there. So you got to think about the fact that here is a cost of a meal and whatever you participate or if you host it, there's a financial cost to producing that food that ends up coming out of the Christmas budget. So you're in that quandrum of, what do I do? What do I not do? What's the good? What's the bad? And if you're one of those folks, think about this for a minute. You're one of those folks that let's fast forward to April or maybe March when you file your tax return and you go, man, I can't wait to get my tax return back so that I can pay off this holiday debt that I've racked up. That's the tail wagging the dog. What if you had the opportunity to do exactly what we talked about last week and what you were just talking about a few minutes ago, Joni, in the back to work mindset of going back and revisiting what your tax withholdings are. Right. Because last time I checked, the old IRS doesn't send me an interest check on the money that they've borrowed. So really what I'm doing by paying them too much and getting it back in April or March whenever I file my tax return, I'm loaning the government tax-free money because they're not paying you interest on it. And they're handing you back the money that you did not have to pay. You have overpaid. That's why they're returning your money. Mm-hmm. It's not that you're getting money back from them. You're getting your money returned to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you had the use of that money through the holiday season, you could have more food. You could have more presents. You could have more parties. There are more things that you can do to positively impact your family instead of sending that money that you've now saved in your mind and loaned to the government tax-free just to pay off the interest or pieces of it going to pay off interest that you've spent because you've done things in crisis for the holidays. And, I just think that's one of the things that nobody really thinks about. You don't think about the lost opportunity cost that you have by doing things in a backwards way when you don't have to do them that way. That's the point. You don't have to do it that way.
And the reason you do it that way is because you never sat down and planned it.
Right.
If you sit down and you say, you know what, every year I get, $1,200 back, right, plus or minus. That means you're overpaying the government $100 a month.
Right. And, people.
That's a lot of money.
It is. And people who are sitting there thinking that they can't do this, I got to tell you something. And this is one of the areas, and I didn't even cover this with you before the show started, but my wife and I have, for as long as I can remember, never charged anything for Christmas or the holidays. Never put anything on a credit card. I think the last time we did this was like maybe 1987, 88, 89, somewhere in there. But we made decisions, and sometimes we spent less because we just didn't have the opportunity to save as much. But we haven't put anything on a credit card just simply because we didn't want to pay for the interest the entire first quarter of the following year or longer.
Right.
And the neat thing about it is every Christmas, it's amazing. We always have enough. It's just a cool thing. It's just the way it works.
Yep. Well, and I think a lot of us, if you have the ability to charge it, we're human beings.
Right.
And what happens is we buy more.
Right.
The shirt's on sale. I was only budgeted to buy one, but it's a really good deal and I can charge it. Visa will, I've got room on my credit card, so let me get 2 shirts.
Yeah.
And you do that a couple of times and now you've doubled what you budgeted for Christmas. and you've charged part of it, and now you've got to pay interest on that too. So, the shirt that was on sale that you thought was such a good deal now cost you more than what it was when it was originally at the full price, because you've paid that much interest if you're charging it and carrying that for any length of time.
Right. I've told the kids the last couple of years, the kids are older and we've gone on some trips around the holidays, and I've told them, I said, now, don't expect Christmas to be what it normally is with all the boxes. And, there are different things. My wife wraps everything individually, not left sock and right sock, but, you can't put a pair of socks in the same box as a pair of underwear. And it's about it's not about the presents. It's about the time you have with family while you're sitting around the tree, or whatever your Christmas tradition or your Thanksgiving tradition, or even for that matter, the Halloween tradition. We have a lot of fun at my house on Halloween, but it's about the family time, and it's about taking the financial pressure off and making things you're making a positive spending decision to have a positive impact on your family. And
just because you spend a lot of money doesn't mean it's going to have the effect that you wanted it, because we're all human. And my intent was to make you happy with whatever it was. And if that's not something that was on that person's wish list,
right,
it's not the same effect.
Right. My wife keeps telling me we don't spend a lot on Christmas because everything I buy her, she takes back because it's either the wrong size, she doesn't like it, so I can't win anyway. But that's not really the case. That's funny, but at the end of the day, you're right.
It's true, though.
You're right. It's about what you're doing to make an impact on the person, not about the amount of money.
And it's about the memories, and it's
absolutely.
And it's what my boys keep saying is, "Mom, what are our traditions?" Well, what is your tradition? If your tradition is buying a whole bunch of stuff and paying Visa and MasterCard for the next 6 months after Christmas, that's a really horrible tradition to have. What is your tradition? Our tradition is sitting at the Thanksgiving table, going around the room, saying what we're thankful for, playing a game, doing something like that. So those are the kind of memories that we need to make.
Gotta love them.
Gotta love them. Journeys with Joni. We'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with NEPSIS Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. Mark and I, just before the break, were talking about back to the holidays. We're talking about Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, the importance of family and the importance of making a difference in people's lives.
And my wife returning all the Christmas presents I bought her.
Yeah, she's told me about that, by the way. It is true, folks. But, it's about making traditions, and it's about, it's also about teaching our kids things too, I think. It is. Because if you're buying them everything and going on credit and not doing the right things, and you're setting an example for them. And, we all know our kids listen to us sometimes, but they watch us more.
Right.
So if you have an opportunity to train your kids to do the right things, then let's do it all within reason. Let's have a plan. Start planning now for Christmas and the holidays. Check your W-2. We talked about that.
Right.
Making sure that, you're not withholding too much and giving a loan to the government, so we're not getting it back in April. And let's start spending that money now, or putting it towards a purpose, because it's so important to write our goals down.
Yeah, there's a logic behind having an intent with things that you do. We've talked not only today, but we've talked in previous shows about us, being coaches. And, really, this is about a relationship, and it's not about financial products or financial stuff. Yes, we invest money. Yes, we look at insurances. Yes, we do financial planning and all the ticky-tack stuff, but it all comes down to that relationship. And, it's here we are having the end of August, we're having we just finished the back 2 month. And so next month, next week we're on to the next topic and, what's happening. But back to the holidays. And too many times I think that life, as we talked about earlier, just eats our lunch. And, we wake up and we go, holy moly, it's the week before Christmas. I haven't done any shopping. I'm stuck with what's left.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you're tired of being in that place, now's the time. And back to the holidays, those holidays end with what holiday? Trick question. What's the last holiday of the holiday season?
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. And that's the day that we say, well, here was my New Year's resolution. We've talked about this before. Yep. I said, and I wrote this down, that I was going to play golf once a week. Well, I was an overachiever on that one. And I'm not in the stage of life. So I wrote down the stage of life where I could actually do that. We have last kid in high school, grandkids showing up. Life's just crazy. So I wrote down an unrealistic, unachievable goal. Now, did I beat myself up on it? No, not at all. And I'm going to write down this year, I'm going to play golf 3 times in 2015, and then I'll play 6 times, and I'll be going, yippee! I did it twice what I expected. But my point is, here we are in August, and why wait till the week between Christmas and New Year's to think about all the things that we want to change, and try to eat that elephant in one big sitting between those weeks? And that's one of those weeks where, you usually have some time off work, and you're thinking about, okay, what are all the things that I did in 2014 that I should have done correct, and I want to do differently in 2015. Well, don't wait till the holidays. You could have one of the best holiday seasons you could ever have in your life or your family history if you begin to take a positive step toward making correct decisions, good decisions for yourself. And I think one of the things, and most of the time when we sit down with people, they don't realize what options that they had. And people go, well, you don't know what you don't know till you don't know that you didn't know it. Right? So here's an opportunity that you have to kind of reset the bar and come back and say, I'm going to begin to work on my New Year's resolutions now because I'm tired of doing the same things I've done year after year after year and having the same results year after year after year. Because retirement's coming. Now, someday. Not that retirement's biblical because it's not in the Bible anywhere, but it's kind of our guidebook if you haven't figured that out by now. But the opportunity that you have to stop earning a paycheck and go do something with your life after you're done with the creation side of wealth. If you're able to go do something in your golden years that have an impact, if you've done all the decisions, you've made things correct, made correct decisions today that have an impact on retirement, those days are coming sooner than you know it. And if you don't believe me, ask somebody who's there now and say, hey, did it take you longer to get here than you thought? And I'll guarantee you what their answer will be. No, I can't believe I'm here. And that's just simply the case. So as we look back to the holidays and as we wrap up August and this back to month, a lot of things we went back to, and I think it's been a fun little journey here throughout the month. I can't wait for next month. But as you think about these holidays, I'm not going to say Merry Christmas because that's just not the right time of year. That'll really throw everybody off. Yeah, mess them completely up. They'll be outside hanging up lights with me. No, I didn't hang the lights up. I really didn't. But as you begin to think about the planning that you have for the holidays of where you're going for Thanksgiving, the money that you're going to spend for that dinner or the travel, and Christmas, and then New Year's, you back up into Halloween and you think about the expense. Good Lord, I read a statistic that said inflation in 2013 was 1.3 or 1.5%. Well, last time I went to the grocery store, things are more expensive there. They may be the same price, but the box is smaller. So
it's changed, definitely.
It has changed, and we're feeling it. So it's very important for you to find the opportunities that you have to stop the losses that you have and take back control of the things that are fleeting, the money that's flying away that you can use in a positive manner. And what better time than at the end of the summer here in August as you get back to work, back to school, and all the other things that are happening here at the end of the summer. Right.
And it's time to put a spending plan into place. You can put in a plan now for what you're going to spend in the next couple of months, get you through those holidays. Plan for Thanksgiving, plan for that trip. It's not that you shouldn't go on those things or spend that money. It's just that you need to plan for it.
Right.
And if we write down what we want to do and we share it with somebody, the chances of us doing that really increase.
I agree. When you write it down, you can make it happen. You can do it.
And you can hold yourself accountable to it. A trusted advisor. If you don't have a trusted advisor, we'd love to be your trusted advisor.
Yeah, we've got some really cool tools we can show you and begin to work with you and build your relationship. But you got to give us a call. You got to come sit down. No cost, no harm, no foul. And if you don't like us, you can leave. No big deal. We're not going to pin you down or chain you to the chair. Joni's laughing now. Now I'm in trouble. But no, how do they find us? How do they get that opportunity to come see that we're really this much fun in person as we are on the radio?
Well, you can find us at www.journeyswithjoni.com. We're located at 6230 University Parkway, Suite 305. That is the Home Bank building on the south side of University. Thank you for sharing your time with us today. We hope that you learned something through our Back To segment in August. If you missed any portion of this show, or any other show actually, go to Journeys with Joni, that's JONI.com, where you can find a replay of all of our shows, our workshop dates, send us an email, and read even our quarterly updates. Journeys with Joni will be back next week. Until then, thanks for listening.
This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by NEPSIS Advisor Services. NEPSIS Advisor Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.